Coming your way over on the British Eurosport HD channel. The Tour of the Basque Country starts tomorrow. That's live from 2:30. And next Sunday it's the fabled cobbles of the Paris-Roubaix. That's live from 11:45. It promises to be another bumpy ride for the contenders to the British Supersport Championship this season. It's gone down to the final race for the past 4 years, and James Whittam, this year looks as though it could be every bit as close, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Lots of younger riders stepping up from the Superstock 6 class. The most notable for me being Kyle Ryde.
Yeah.
And he's been looking strong. Complete package, that lad.
Yeah, it starts from the front row of the grid here as well.
Yeah. Yep, steady-headed. He's like talking to a 40-year-old, and he's actually 17, I think. Yeah, 16 or something.
Yeah, 17, yeah, amazing. Billy McConnell, of course, the champion, moves up, but the likes of probably, I suppose, Glenn Irwin, a race winner from last year, he's got to be one of the title favourites this time round.
Glenn Irwin, Luke Stapleford, you've got to be looking at Ben Wilson. He's never been slow on a Supersport bike, but again, it's a championship. Because of the new guys, we just can't call.
And one guy who would have started perhaps as the championship favourite would have been Graham Garland. A real shame to lose Graham for the season.
If it weren't for bad luck, Graham wouldn't have any luck at all. Broke his femur, his left femur, down in Spain. Just so unlucky. He's all right, he's going to be all right, but he would have started as my favourite. Super fast lad is Graham when he's fit.
Yeah, real shame that Graham Garland won't be on the grid this season, but plenty of fresh talent out there for James Hayden and Jack Bernicle to talk us through in round one of the Motorpoint British Supersport Championship.
34 riders in the Motorpoint British Supersport Championship and Supersport Evo class peeled through Redgate on their warm-up lap, and this is there's a massive consignment of Evo riders this season, far outnumbering the full-on Supersport riders in this class. All right, Jake Dixon, two of those young men on the front, of course, are complete newcomers to the Supersport class, and they've qualified ahead of Supersport regulars like Glenn Irwin, Sam Hornsey and James Rispoli. So it's a fascinating grid. There's a real mix of the raw newcomers and the relatively experienced. A great start for Luke Stapleford, the Profile Racing Triumph. Remember, never quite a race winner, but twice second last year, on his way to 6th in the championship. He's put himself on pole position ahead of the scaldingly fast newcomer, 77 Kyle Ryde, 17-year-old on the Pace Days, Track Days Yamaha, and Jake Dixon riding for the Smith's Triumph team. Second row of the grid for the Kawasaki of Glenn Irwin, a race winner 5 times last year, ahead of Sam Hornsey and American James Rocket Rispoli. Third row has Andy Reid, runner-up in last season's Superstock 600 series, as of the first Evo bike. Great performance by number 11, Joe Collier, on the team Haribo Star Mix Triumph, out of Ben Wilson's Gearlink Kawasaki. And the fourth row of the grid, Freddie Pett, winner of the Triumph Triple Challenge last year, making a splendid impression. Fourth row of the grid with Dean Hipwell and former Grand Prix runner Danny Webb. Behind Danny Webb, we've got Harry Hartley, we have Levi Day, we have Jamie Perrin. There's number 11, Joe Collier's Haribo Star Mix Evo bike. Haribo Star Mix have only ever competed in the Superstock 600 Championship until now. But he's with using the Evo bike, it's not too much different from the Superstock machine. And James Rispoli is missing. Rispoli is missing. He's got a clutch problem, and the number 43 machine of the TTC 115 Yamaha is in pit lane. That's the team that's fronted, of course, owned by Keith Flint, frontman of the Prodigy. So an empty space there on the right-hand side as they look down towards Redgate on row 2. Number 8, pole position then. And there is the Rispoli's bike being worked on as the rest of them hit the track, hit the deck and hit Redgate. Great start from pole position by number 8, Luke Stapleford. But look at this, Glenn Irwin squeezes through where a gap didn't seem to exist, past that distinctive yellow fairing of Kyle Ryde, and the Ulsterman dives through on the inside as they hit Craver Curves. What a brave move. Down the hill they go, and I think Irwin has grabbed the advantage from Stapleford and Ryde.
Yeah, he did. What a brave start. I spoke to him just before the race, and he said, yeah, I might not have qualified in the front row, but I'm a racer. And you saw that in the first 2 corners.
And I honestly don't think I've seen anyone pull that right off the start. So a great move at the top of the hill there from Glenn Irwin, and Irwin on bike number 69 leads the way ahead of Stapleford And the young danger man there, Kyle Wright, having a terrific start to his Supersport career, and we knew that he'd have something to offer as they come down the hill now towards the Foggy Esses.
Yeah, and Carl White just having a little look, dangling his leg. That's the yellow bike, the third bike in your picture. Just 17 years old, already a double champion, and he's got a bright future ahead of him. Had a few little guesses in this ride just at the end of the year in this class, and did really well. Look at, did you see Ben Wilson there? Just coming down so late underneath Dixon, who just got beaten up a little bit there.
So at the front then, one Gearlink Kawasaki storming through to fourth place, a second Gearlink Kawasaki, that familiar, aggressive, hunched figure of Ben Wilson. We've been missing him last season from Supersport. He had a proper bad year in Superbike. The bike, they never really got it running properly, and it just completely disheartened the Lincolnshireman. But here he is, back where he belongs, former runner-up by a single point, of course, in this championship.
Yeah, I mean, he's been such a stalwart in this class, hasn't he? And for Gearlink, and you know, he's been absolutely fantastic over the years. So it's nice to see him back. And already you can see there's very few more aggressive riders. We're talking about the fourth bike in your picture there, the green bike, number 15, Ben Wilson, and he's already starting to notch him back in.
The lead at the moment, though, being held by the man they call the Tiger, Carrick Ferguson's very old Glenn Irwin of the Irwin Racing family. Their dad Alan, of course, there's racing brothers. One of them a top motocrosser, the other one racing in Superstock 6 here.
And watch your bike, second bike in your picture, Luke Stableford. I think he's going to go for a little move up the inside and come in this. Oh no, he's gone to the other side now, I say it. No, that's clever of Glenn there. He just held to the inside, wouldn't allow him to get up the inside. But you could see he was looking for a way.
I think it looks like we've got some proper Supersport racing in prospect then for 2015, James.
Do we ever not? I mean, it is such a great close.
There goes Ben Wilson squeezing past inside Kyle Wright there, and X's third place. There's number 9, Marshall Neal, the veteran Ulsterman who's leading. The yellow plate signifies an Evo machine. A gate. And that great ride by Marshall Neal. Look, he's just ahead of Joe Collier, who was the best qualifier on the Evo machine. So Marshall Neal on the in-competition racing Yamaha from Portadown. A part-time veteran, shall we say, of the BSB paddock. He's never really had a regular ride, been in and out of the Superstock 1000 class, but looking really good in the early stages here, leading the Evo class.
Yeah, and he made up 7 places on lap 1, Jack.
Fastest lap for Ben Wilson, 1:32.969. That's not entirely surprising. 69, of course, the number of the man leading the way, his teammate on that beautiful, immaculate green and orange Gearlink Kawasaki, Glenn Irwin. So yeah. Irwin, Stapleford, the men at the front, and then just behind them we've got Ben Wilson, number 15, running in third place, fourth for number 77, Kyle Wright.
Yeah, and behind them you've got Dixon. Obviously, remember, this is Dixon's first race on the Triumph after moving from Yamaha, and he just settled in a bit, and you know, we've seen how fast he is. He's looked really good, and he just got dropped a little bit in those first laps, but he's built his confidence, got some heat in the tyres, and look at that, he's just done 2 guys, number 7 on the Smith's Triumph. He's done Wilson and Wright, and you know, he is really flying there. But very sensible ride from him so far. But Wilson, always one to fight back. Look, dives up just at the last moment. Oh, that's big. Wow. That's going to be a well, I can't imagine. That's exit guesses. I should think.
And I think two riders have gone down. There must have been something of a collision there. And I think it's Freddie Pett might be one of them. That's the 6'6" figure of Freddie Pett, the reigning Triumph Triple Champ.
Safety cars come out. As you could see, it was online, dirt on the track, so the safety cars come out. So just as when it was hottening up. So lap 4 of 10. Safety car's just going to come out, and they're going to sweep that off as quick as they can. Look at that. I don't think you can do much of it with your feet. They're just checking for a little bit of oil. So
they need something bigger than brushes, don't they? So the exit to the Foggy Esses then, big coming together, and that's left. Let's see what we can get, see what we can see.
Oh, so that's Pett. So Pett has gone down, and look at the fuel. There's fuel coming out. He's lost his fuel. That's fuel coming out there as well, so they're going to have to be a little bit careful there. You can see the fuel splashing around, and and that is he's lost it before. What has probably happened is either lost the front on the curb on the left, or just halfway to on the flick, because he's gone down quite early there to reach that point in the track. And look at the fuel tank; it's actually fully gone now. So yeah, big that bike is a bit of a mess. Luckily, he didn't catch fire.
And Harry Hartley, number 55, on the Appleyard McAdam Dukes and Yamaha, was lucky to just scrape round.
Look at these pictures. Great pictures by the cameraman here. Fantastic.
Oh, look, here's the fairing coming into land.
But it's worth noting as well, Freddie Pett, who we're looking at, perfectly all right. We saw him up and walking away. Oh, look at that. It is on fire. Freddie Pett goes up and walking away, no problem. But look at that. That is a slow-mo and all the stones jiggling along. Incredible.
That's a lovely expression, the jiggling stones. So the Dale Sports Services Limited 675 Triumph is going to have a fair bit of loving care and attention before tomorrow's race, if they can rectify it in time for tomorrow's race. This, of course, a 10-lap sprint race that starts off the Motorpoint British Supersport Championship. Glenn Irwin leads the way at the moment. Luke Stapleford second, Ben Wilson in third, fourth Jake Dixon for Smith's Triumph, fifth place Kyle Wright on the Pace Days Track Days Yamaha, and then someone that we've slightly overlooked is Stapleford's new teammate Sam Hornsey, the Shropshire lad, number 94, running in sixth place, right on the back of that group. Andy Reid is in seventh place on the surviving TTC 115 Yamaha. He's man who finished run-up to Kyle Wright in the Superstock 6 last year. Dean Hipwell is running 8th. Joe Collier for Haribo Star Mix is running in 9th place, and he's just ahead of Jamie Perrin and Marshall Neal, and that is a three-man race for the top Evo.
Now, it's also worth noting, while the safety car's out, that all these laps are actually counting, towards the race, so they count down, and it's not till the lights go off on the safety car that we know the safety car will be coming in, and they can start racing again from the start-finish line. You see the lights are still on, so we're going to get another lap, and that is, they've got a little bit more work to do there, as you can see. It is just online. Someone went through the dust there and braved man on the early laps, so we're going to get at least another lap. And hopefully in this next lap they'll try and get it swept off. But what it does do, obviously, it condenses the whole pack. We had a race on our hands up front, but now it's getting the likes of Reid, Hipwell, Collier as well. Yeah, that whole everyone is going to be bunched up, and this will be an amazing last couple of laps.
So look at this, there's tension on the pit wall right enough as everybody looks on, intending to see what's going to happen when we finally get all this cleared off. And there are a fair number of stones to get rid of. Look, they're not good, they're not getting away easily, are they? What about the fuel? Will the fuel be all right? That'll just have dried off, James. Well,
they put dust on it now. It won't evaporate quite that quick, but you can see the dust much better from this angle. The guys really doing the best job they can, and hopefully, let's hope that they can get it swept so we can get sort of, 3-4 laps. It's going to be tight. The lights are still on at the moment, but he's got more time to take them off. The other thing you've got to be careful of, especially in temperature like this, as it does get a bit colder, is keeping the heat in your tyres. So the guys are out front, keeping the heat in your brakes, and especially when you get going again.
So this Evo clash is quite something. You've got 20-year-old Joe Collier, 21-year-old Jamie Perrin, and 41-year-old Marshall Neal locked together in 9th, 10th and 11th places. They are in the battle for Evo class honours. And there are the yellow numbers. There you see them. Number 11, Collier, just ahead of number 75, Perrin. And number 9, the veteran digger driver from Northern Ireland, Marshall Neal. And now the yellow flag's still waving here. James, is that sufficiently clear, do you think, for racing to carry on? I think we've got the red flag. I think a red flag has come out. I think they've decided that they simply can't mop up fast enough. The red flag is out.
Oh, well, that was, obviously it was the sensible option. I guess there wasn't much they could do, but how frustrating is that? It feels like you've just had a wonderful meal cooked in front of you, and just before you have a bite, someone's chucked it in the bin. But
what a great analogy, Mr. Hayden. So there we are in the lovely lowering spring sunshine here at Donington Park. There will be a new grid formed for something as a four-lap race. The grid will be formed as the order was after 4 laps, which means that Glenn Irwin will at least have the pleasure of starting from pole position this time, and so it'll become a 6-lap dash really, if it wasn't sufficient for a sprint race at 10.
Well, there you go then. Someone's put the meal back on the table.
And it's going to be interesting, of course, because, well, for example, Marshall Neal, starting from row 6 first time out, will be rather closer to Collier and Perrin this time.
That's how you do it, Jack.
I was going to say, that's what you need.
Yeah, but
yes.
You can't do that when the boys are going round. So this is great stuff. Organisers, as always, you know, thinking of everyone's safety, get it cleared, and they're going to give us a chance to get a really good race on our hands again. So, great.
OK, so as they start mopping up at the S's there with their beautiful big green tractor, we will take a quick break and be back with what is going to be a breathtaking 6-lap British Supersport dash.
The Tour of the Basque Country, tailor-made for the mountain men. 5 whole days, uphill and down dale, with a time trial to round it all off. Who's up to the challenge? Tomorrow at 2:30 p.m, the Tour of the Basque Country, live on British Eurosport.
Cars. I don't trust them. They could play up at any time, but no. They wait until that 1 month when you've got 3 birthdays, a tax bill and a holiday to pay for. That's why I got an insured car warranty from Warranty Direct. Warranty Direct offers comprehensive cover for your car at a competitive price. And it's recommended by What Car. So, pick your moment, car. I'm ready for you. Get a quote today at warrantydirect.co.uk. We might just save you a fortune.
Asphalt 8 Airborne. Download now for free.
Kind of grows in a minute. Bye. Nice one. Ketchup. Yeah, I know it is. We all have McDonald's in common.
The Speedway Best Pairs Cup continues next weekend on British Eurosport HD. Round 2 is live from Güstrow in Germany. That's next Saturday from 7 o'clock in the evening. Here at Donington Park we have a red flag in the first Supersport sprint race of the season. The latest information is that we're going to have a 6-lap race, so it's still a sprint race, but it's just an even faster sprint, James.
Well, we've had 6 and 8 laps, so it's either 6 or 8, but that is
7 times runner-up in the Ulster and Irish Motocross Championships before starting racing short circuits on tarmac in 2007. This is the new grid then. The runner-up in the 2011 Superstock 600 Championship behind Keith Farmer. Glenn Irwin starts from pole. Luke Stapleford's Triumph in second place. Ben Wilson on the second gear-link Kawasaki in third. Second row of the grid headed up by Smith's Triumph and Jake Dixon, followed by Yamaha's Kyle Ryde and Triumph's Sam Hornsey. Third row of the grid, Andy Reid riding the prodigy head of Triumph and Dean Hippo Hipwell. And then the first Evo bike of Joe Collier. And the 20-year-old Collier then was involved in a battle royale with 21-year-old Jamie Perrin and 41-year-old Irishman Marshall Neal for those Evo honours, ahead of former Grand Prix star Danny Webb. So that is the front 4 rows of the grid here for this final attempt, this final race of the afternoon, as the sun begins to lower over the Midlands here at Donington Park. I mentioned the fact that the man on pole position, number 69, Glenn Irwin, runner-up in the Superstock 600 Championship in 2011, British Supersport champion and 9th overall in 2012, 9th again in British Supersport in 2013, and then that terrific year last year when he won 5 times on his way to 4th place in the championship. So he's looking to get himself off to a lightning fast start from pole position and to see if he can nail this 6-lap sprint race. It's going to be a fairly epic little get-together here. And look where number 7, Jake Dixon, has put himself right out into there. He's got to dive through. He's going to try and do a Glenn Irwin from the 2nd row of the grid here. So ready to go then. 2 Gearlink Kawasaki's on the front row, sandwiched between them, number 8. Wow. Oh, not such a good getaway for the triumph there in the middle. And it's the 2 Kawasaki's who lead the rush down into Redgate, but a recovery there from Lucra as he drops back into 2nd place. Kyle Ride on that custard yellow Yamaha comes swooping round the outside.
Yeah, Glenn Irwin using all his motocross experience there to get the whole shot. He absolutely nailed that. Dixon did get beaten up there, and he had a lot of riders come underneath him. Looks like he's fighting back there at the old hairpin. You can see quite tricky light in places, but yeah, it's important to get a good start on such a short race.
And Andy Reid did. Look at that. He launched through the 5th place just behind Kyle Ride, the man who beat him to that Superstock 600 Championship last year. So an absolutely uproarious racing prospect here, because this is simply 6 laps, and it's just a kind of win or bust race here for these guys.
Well, I mean, we're so glad that it's being restarted and we can get it.
This might be the meal you were anticipating, James. As we drop down the hill, Luke Stapleford once again moved to the outside. Once again, Glenn Irwin moves across to chop off any attempt at overtaking, as they flat out through the S's. There's Sam Hornsey, number 94, running just behind number 7, Jake Dixon. Down the hill, here comes Wilson.
Oh, wow, Wilson nearly tagged the back of his teammate there. And did you see Reid? Yes.
Barged inside.
There's so much going on all the way down the pack. You don't know what to comment on next. And you can see up the inside, look at Dixon. He's coming in as right. He swings it back through. The guys, they know it's short. You can't let anyone get away. Great start for everyone.
Charging across the line then, it's Irwin, Wilson, Stapleford, Reid 4th, Ride 5th, Dixon, Hornsey, Hipwell, Marshall Neal leading the Evo charge from Jamie Pemmin.
And look how close it is between the 2 teammates there at the hairpin, and Reid on Ride.
And now dropping through Craner curves, Irwin, Wilson, Stapleford at the front, and then that 2nd wave with Andy Reid has got, well, that's 3 tearaways together there, Reid, Ride and Dixon.
Oh, Dixon, bit of a mistake at the old hairpin, that's cost him time.
And that lets Sam Hornsey through, I think, on the 2nd of the profile racing bikes.
This is a good ride from Irwin. You can see he's already trying to stretch the pack. He's got going, he's got confidence, really quick in those tyres, and it's just what he needed to do.
There's Sam Hornsey, the Shropshire man running Supersonic. Sam running now in 6th place, just tagged onto the back of Kyle Ride, dropping down the hill, and this time Stapleford having a look up the inside, but you know how late Ben Wilson is on the brakes as Kyle Ride retakes that 4th place, just braking neatly underneath Andy Reid without harassing the Ulsterman too much, but you know that Reid will be back on him as they come down through the Melbourne Loop.
And remember, it was those 2 battling out for the win of the championship last year in Superstock, and here they're doing it again now in Supersport.
Wilson there looked almost as if he'd gone underneath and got the drive up the hill, but Irwin with that wider sweep had the speed uphill.
I tell you what, this looks like quite a quick lap from Ride as well, because you know already he's bridged his way through. Let's have a little look at that. 32.3, so yeah, he's one of the quickest guys on the track that lap.
And there is Stapleford through into 2nd place. Then Wilson typically tries to respond straight away and creep back underneath at the top of Craner curves. Can't make it stick. And his 23-year-old Luke Stapleford on the triumph, still splitting those 2 Gearlink Kawasaki's.
Yeah, Stapleford, the pole man, been quick all weekend and really getting into the swing of it there.
So Irwin, Irwin just pulling away a little here. Look at this. Wilson just lost a bit of time as he came down the hill, and he'll be coming under pressure from the young kids now as we watch that other battle between number 7 Dixon, number 94 Hornsey. This is the scrap for the lead. Luke Stapleford, remember, has never won in this class. He's come close. He had 2 second places last year, but has never quite made it onto the top step. He was second at Oldham Park, second again later in the season at Silverstone. Can he make it here?
Yeah, I mean, he's having a look all over. Keeps going down with the other side. Yellow flags waving there at the S's as well. Oh, I'm not sure whether someone's gone straight on or something's happened. But look at wide. He's gone very, very wide. Round the outside. Oh, we do have
we got a faller.
Number 24. That's James Henry.
A local lad, Castle Donington boy, who's dropped his Kawasaki there, so he's literally in the village just up the road. Oh, Kyle Wright punches his way underneath Ben Wilson. Wilson gave him just a glimmer of air going into Goddard's, and the 17-year-old from Jacksdale, just up the road in Nottinghamshire, wasted no time at all. So Kyle Wright, reigning Superstock 6 champion, right there. Look at the speed that Stapleford carries through Redgate. He almost runs into the leader, Glenn Irwin.
Yeah, that's it. But keep an eye on the man in 5th, Dixon. He just set the fastest lap of the race, and you know, he looked like he was going to be dropped off, but he's straight back in there on the Smith's Triumph there as well. This is the car wide move. Watch to the right hand side of the pitch. Oh, that's late and cheeky. That's a 17-year-old saying, "Come on, let's go."
Ben probably thought his left elbow was occupying that bit of track, and it was his. Now Kyle Wright looking threatening on the 4th lap of 6. He's moving right onto the tail of the leaders, and he could just prove to be a fly in the ointment for them here.
Watch Irwin here, though. He just hugs that line. He keeps forcing them to the other side. And this time it's the first time Stapleton stayed behind him and can't quite do it. He's so good on the brakes there, is Irwin. But that is one of the best spots to pass on the whole track. Again, he can get a little look up here down into the Melbourne Loop. It's close enough, but I just don't think they've quite got... Irwin's bike looks so good, and he is so good on the
And that was on the... Glenn Irwin juddering on the downhill there into the Melbourne.
Oh, he missed the gear.
Oh, did he? And that just about cost him. Stapleford almost hit the back of the Kawasaki. He had to run wide, and he's run terribly wide into Goddard's. Wants to be careful with Kyle Wright behind him.
Yeah, wow, well, we're on lap, just about to start lap 5 or 6, the penultimate lap, and look at these guys, it's so... Well,
Glenn Irwin goes out wide into Redgate, and that allows Stapleford through. So Lucre takes the lead, the man who set pole position first, the first start we had, as Ben Wilson gets attacked by Jake Dixon, dropping down Craner curves. The leader, Luke Stapleford, profile triumph, second.
Oh, I tell you what, I like the look of Dixon as well, you know,
yes.
He's into 4th, and that was a great move at the top of Craners, and he's made a couple of mistakes, but he's managed to fight back, and he's looking really strong there on the Smith's Triumph.
So this is an absolutely barnstorming race. We'll have the full edition tomorrow, of course, coming to you live on British Eurosport. That's the battle for 5th place now between Ben Wilson and Andy Reid. But at the front, we've got a 4-way scrap. There are those two as they take the first apex of Coppice and then drift out onto the old Dunlop straight. Downhill now. Luke Stapleford, is he pulling away? Could this be it for the Profile Racing triumph at last?
Yeah, he's like, as you say, he's never had a win, number 8 Luke Stapleford, and he would dearly love one. And he's got himself maybe 8 bike lengths there, half a second, and this is as good a chance as ever. Look at Dixon going up the inside of... Go on! Oh, my word! That was close on the back of Irwin. Wow.
Up the hill, and Kyle Wright had the acceleration on the Yamaha, you felt, as they came out of that turn, but no, Dixon fends him off. Cuts across. Dixon now 3rd and threatening Irwin, the long-time leader, as they cross the line into the final lap. Stapleford, Profile Racing triumph, number 8 leads the way. 2nd place, Glenn Irwin, 69, Kawasaki. 3rd, the triumph, the Smith's triumph of number 7, Jake Dixon, who is now looking really, really strong. 31.9. He set the fastest lap of the race on that lap.
Yeah, but Stapleford's doing a great job out front there, and I think he's going to have a bit too much to do. He's having a look at the old hairpin, and that's a brave move there, straight under Irwin. He wants to take this win. You can see it. I wouldn't bet against him when someone's in this move, but it's going to have to be an amazing last lap.
It is, because look at that, there's just that bit of a gap to mind you. The way that he's arrowing after him. Oh, my goodness me. And as we dash up the hill now towards Coppice for the last time, Jake Dixon has swallowed up that advantage. He could be in a position to outbreak the leader at some point here. Stableford, though, really strong as he drifts out of Coppice, gets the power down early and makes sure he's got plenty of room as he drops down the hill to the Foggy Essers. Oh, Dixon putting everything into this.
He is indeed, but I just think it's maybe a fraction too much. We've seen how much he takes out on the brakes each time. Stapleford taking a defensive line.
Here comes
Owen! Oh, wow, again, so close, but he's right on him. It's got to be a lunge up the line on the last corner.
Oh dear,
Reed's on the grass.
Gets the better of Ben Wilson, but only momentarily as they drop into Goddard's for the final time. Could it be, at last, that he's going to take victory? He does! Luke Stapleford finally breaks his duck ahead of the hard-charging Jake Dixon. Glenn Irwin in third place, fourth Kyle Wright, fifth Andy Reid, sixth Wilson, seventh Joe Collier for the Haribo Star Mix team. He is the winning Evo bike. Marshall Neal just behind him there, number 9. The veteran digger driver from Ireland is second Evo, and right behind him Jamie Perrin is the third man. And well, what an exciting introduction to 2015 version of the Motorpoint British Superbike Championship.
And what a great win for Luke Stapleford. His first ever in this class. He's been trying for so long, so close, and he grabs it, and a great win, but what a lovely race.
Luke Stapleford, who started go-karting when he was 8 years old, became the WTP British Kart Champion at the age of 11, beat Lewis Hamilton's lap record on a 60cc Comma Cadet kart at the well-known TVKC meeting that takes place once a year with competitors from all over Europe. So he had quite a successful career on four wheels before he went on to jet skiing, motocross, and finally at 16 started road racing. So number 8, Luke Stapleford, finally nails his colours to the mast, leads the Motorpoint British Supersport Championship after the first race. Runner-up in the Superstock 600 Championship in 2010, Luke Stapleford has now made his big move, but look at this, the guys behind him. Jake Dixon was in there, Kyle Wright was in there, Andy Reid, 3 of those raw newcomers inside the top 5. Stapleford wins it then for Profile Racing Triumph. Jake Dixon, Smith's Triumph second, Glenn Irwin's Gaelic Kawasaki third, Kyle Wright for Yamaha in fourth, ahead of Andy Reid's Yamaha, sixth for Ben Wilson, seventh, and the winner of the Evo class, 20-year-old Joe Collier from Leicestershire, just a local boy to here, of course, with Dean Hipwell in 8th place, Marshall Neal second Evo, 9th, Jamie Perrin 10th, 11th place for Sam Hornsey on the second of the Profile Racing Triumphs. Australian Levi Day is the 4th Evo home in 12th place ahead of Sam Coventry and Bjorn Estement. Luke Jones on that stock MV Augusta, due to go down to the factory, drive down to the factory next week to try and sort out some improved bits. Guy Martin guesting for the Smith's Triumph as a substitute for the injured Graham Garland is 16th ahead of Paul Curran, Niall Campbell, Phil Wakefield and Ben Field.